I got you. All right, we should be Gucci now. We should be Gucci. Again, I'm not doing anything different. What's up, Kev? Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I'm not doing anything different. So, like I said about Melanie Bates, I reiterate the question is she is no longer going to be on a school board. What's your reaction to that? Do you think that she would have won re-election? I think she probably would have. She got name recognition. I mean, she's been here for 20 years. That means she got to have some kind of infrastructure, I'm sure. Is it unfair to judge her by her 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 outburst, early this year as it related to the parents? Remember what she said? What did she say exactly? She was like, I don't care, basically. I don't give a damn these whining ass parents at Walnut Hills. I don't care about your grandmama. I'm like, wait a minute. She was out of the bar just talking slick and greasy, and some parents picked it up and they actually recorded it. Remember this? Oh, it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. And she came on the show, and I asked her about it, and she paused for a second. She was like, here we go. And then she started asking me to play the tape for her. Then she could tell me what she said. I'm like, wait a minute. That don't sound right. It sounds guilty as hell. That's not how that works. Grown folks, especially when you are in a position of authority, should always know what you said, in my opinion. That's just me. After 20 years on the Cincinnati City School Board and an additional 7 years on the State Board of Education, I'm excited to announce my retirement from public service at the end of my current term. Hey, she might be like, I'm sick and tired of y'all. I'm out of here. Either way, what's funny as hell is I went to her Facebook page and some of the comments, man, I'm sure it don't make her feel good, but it comes with the territory. Yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. So I guess the girl power didn't work. Remember, she took a photograph maybe like 2 or 3 weeks after the whole situation happened with guess who? Girl power. I'm like, girl power. Between y'all medium age is like 57. Y'all ain't no girls. You talking about girl power. Stop that. You mean woman power? Female power? Yeah, girl, nah, them days over with. Stop it. We good with the sound? Good. You see, Kevin writes, "Don't like and don't care" is what she said. It was a whole thing, man. I remember working with those are some parents who recorded her, and I did my duty. I told them I would protect their identities. I did that. Again, that's just my style, man. I mean, that's how you have to be as a journalist. But we good, Jerome? Good, 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 good. Dare writes, "Nope, it's not unfair." Yeah, I don't think it's unfair at all. She said it. Just like I don't think, what is this, Ben Lindy? Ben Lindy was like, nah, send y'all kids back to the cafeterias. But he didn't want to eat with his colleagues in the same room. Huh? He got to be held accountable for that. And it'll probably fall back on people like me. You know what I'm saying? You can believe that conversation will come up again. It'll be me if I'm still doing this whenever he comes up for re-election, which I think is in like 2 years. So we'll see. We'll see. Good morning to you. I think it's good for the school board. But my only thing is that, and again, people could take this any way they want to. As I'm Facebook friends with a lot of people who are running for school board and things like that. From the outside looking in, I got to tell you, I see some issues. And the biggest issue I see is I see a whole lot of smiling. I see a whole lot of taking pictures at events and taking pictures with people. But what I don't see, at least on Facebook, is a whole lot of talk about policy. I don't hear ideas. I'm not, that's not being put up on social media. I'm not saying that these candidates don't have it, but I don't hear that. I see a whole bunch of this and this and this, I see a whole bunch of pictures, but I don't see a whole bunch of here's what I believe in. Here's what I'm going to push for. Here are the policies that I think we should have in place. Here's what I'm looking for. I don't see that. I see a whole lot of handshaking and gums. I see a whole bunch of gums. I see a whole bunch of teeth, but I don't see and read a whole bunch of policy ideas. So it's hard for me to figure out, what some of these candidates really believe in yet. So I'm gonna do my due diligence when we have these conversations to try to get to the bottom of it. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to get rid of one Melanie Bates and just get another one in there, black or white. What's up, man? How you?
Guys, yesterday I made 7 shots.
Yesterday you made 7 basketball shots. Oh, okay, good, man. Dad, you already know. I know you just telling the people. No, you're not sitting back there. You're not sitting back there. No, I just told you no, man. I'm grabbing one. Okay, so you know what the next thing gonna come out my mouth is, right? Huh? Is that what you're supposed to be doing? Don't say bye to daddy. Okay. What we doing today, man? Playing basketball. So when I pick you up, we're gonna go straight to the court. Yeah. Okay. All right, get them skills in. You're getting better too. Yeah. You're getting better. I thought yesterday I was gonna make like maybe 1 shot. And you end up making 7. Yeah. Never underestimate yourself, man. Your shot is getting better. Yeah. It's getting better. Your shot's looking much better. Whose watch is this? Whose watch do you think it is? Daddy. Of course. Can I have it? No, you can't have it. Look, it's mine. Look, it's mine now. Daddy. Yes. Do you mind if I finish my show? Wait. I need pennies. You need pennies? Yes. I need a lot of pennies. You need a lot of pennies? Yeah. Okay, I got some pennies over there. Where? Tell your mother know where they are. Tell your mother. She'll get them for you. This boy. He needs another penny. He needs a lot of pennies. I got a bunch of pennies in this thing over here, Ed. All right. Man. Oh, thank you so much, Kevin. What's up, Ann? What's up, Ann? Good to see you. What's up, Kev? Good to see everybody. I don't know what's up with the sound thing. I mean, I do a sound check before every show. You know that. I've been doing it long enough. It's just automatic. There's something happening after we get on the air. This ain't gonna work. Actually, it does work. We good. This guy, he love his daddy, man. And I get it should be that way. Good morning to you. Let me see. F. Melanie Two Beer Bates and Dusty Maga Rhodes. Melanie Two Beer. That's right. She said I had 2 beers. She in a bar. I forget what part of town it was in. I think it was in St. Bernard. She was in a bar in St. Bernard. Talking slick and greasy, talking loud. Damn parents. Who does that? Like, do I think you need to have a spot with some friends where you can like exhale and blow off some steam? Absolutely. But smart people keep their fucking voice down, man. Keep your voice down. It's real easy. Melanie Two Beer Bates. So listen, Melanie Bates ain't running, but I'm just saying that don't mean that the next person automatically is going to be better than her. We have to seriously vet these candidates with well thought out questions delivered with people who are fearless and tearless, who are not afraid to follow up, who are not afraid to go off the script for a second and say that don't make any sense. Okay, to hold them accountable for what they should know. I just feel like if you're running for school board, it's some shit you should know. You should know way more than me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying you should know. You should know this shit. You could. It's dimes, nickels, quarters, all kind of stuff in there, but I'm just saying, take whatever you need. I need a lot. Okay. Okay, great. So they're doing something. I don't know what they're doing exactly. Cash writes, hey choppers. Regina writes, good morning. Dale writes, somebody tell me Nita didn't go out like a sucker last night. Now, I'm not sure if she went out like a sucker. I'm not here to say that. But Nina Turner did lose in the primary last night to Chantel Brown, I believe it is. Let me double check to make sure I got that name right. Chantel Brown. They were saying it was a Democrat establishment versus the progressive wing of the Democrats. Yeah, Chantel Brown. And, it is what it is. At this point, it is what it is. So, again, I like Nina Turner. When I hear about her policies and her politics, I like it. I like it. And, it seems like the Democrat Party gets caught with that. Like, it's like being a progressive and a liberal has been successfully branded as being like a bad thing, even inside the Democrat Party, which if you look at what voters really want, they want change. They want people to push the needle so that working class people, real people, right, can actually have a government that represents them and gives a damn about them. Not saying that the Democrat Party does. I'm just saying, well, no, I'm more interested in what you're saying, quite honestly. What do you think about it? 513-873-7134. Nina Turner can't get no love. I thought she was out to a great start. So I'm sure Chantel Brown will do a great job. I'm sure she will. Dale writes, old Nate about to go daddy. Derice in the house, good to see you, brother. Good morning, family. Make today a great day. Absolutely. Kamar writes, good morning from Bermuda. What? You chilling in Bermuda? Oh, I bet it's beautiful. I'm going to go to your Facebook page. I'm sure you got pictures. Good morning to you, Kamar. Heaven's Angel writes, he's so adorable, imprinting on his daddy. Yeah, he all about it. He at that age now where he want to be all around daddy. Cool. He can be around me. Linda writes, good morning. Janice writes, I can hear you. Okay, I can hear you. Great. Marsha writes, St. Bernard, right? Marche writes, St. Bernard, right? It was in St. Bernard, yep. Yeah, I'm glad she didn't run. She's not running. I'm glad because it opens the door because she probably would have won. I'll be honest with you. She probably would have won. Despite all that shit that she said, I know how this city works, and she got a name, and she probably would have won re-election. I'm happy about that. But now that we've got 2 open spots, that means 2 newcomers. That's cool. I love it. We need some fresh blood. But who are these individuals? What they really stand for? Like I said before, when I go on Facebook, some Facebook friends with a lot of people running, I don't see a lot of people posting about policy. I see a lot of this, and a lot of this, and a lot of this, and a lot of this. I see a lot of smiling, people at events, but I don't see no substance. I'm just word to the wise. Let it be known. I don't see the substance. And I'm not sure there is. I'm not saying there isn't substance. Maybe it's back at their websites, which I have not gotten to that point yet. But I will. Whatever's out there about whatever candidate, I'm going to read it all and be as well versed as I possibly can as we have these interviews. But what's your plan to turn the district around? What would you do differently during COVID? What are you going to do to help Black students? Because Black students have a real issue with CPS. Gabriel Taye, Black student ignored by administrators to the point where the boy committed suicide, right? Then CPS itself needs some. They never should have challenged in that lawsuit. They wasted what, $300,000-$500,000 in a lawsuit, and they was dead wrong. Only reason why they stopped is because that 3-panel judge, the federal judges, they came back and basically laughed at their arguments. Said, get out of here. Laughed at them. Found the CPS they found a couple things. They found that there was a lot of credibility in what the plaintiff, that's the mother of Gabriel Taye, was saying about CPS. And number 2, they found the CPS had misrepresented what they were saying. This is Cincinnati Public Schools. So what these school board members going to do? What you gonna do? So smiling, hee hee, that shit don't mean nothing to me at all. Not even a little bit. We'll see how it shakes out. CPS has an issue with Black students. Not my words. It was the word. It was 2 studies that have been done within the last calendar year. One was done by a student-led group in coordination with the ACLU. And what they found is that Black students were 5 times more likely to get exclusionary discipline. So what are these school board members going to do about it? I need to hear it. Smiling, at an event don't tell me anything. Don't tell me shit whatsoever. There was another study that came out that used information from the last few years, and what they found is that CPS is struggling to graduate Black students, and then they create the kind of graduates that go on to college and graduate. So the question remains, what are their plans? You got failing schools. CPS is a failing district. Smiling in a bar don't tell me what you're going to do as a school board member. That don't tell me shit. But I know how the game works. That can get you a lot of votes. So we'll have to wait and see, yo. I'm just telling you, when we start, that goes for, I say the same thing with some of these city council people running. What you running on? I see a whole lot of smiles going to an event, shaking hands with this person, shaking hands with that person, but what do you stand for? Same thing with the charter rights. What do you stand for? What are you going to do? What are the 3 pillars of your platform? I want to hear them. Do they make sense? We'll find out. We'll find out together, my friend. Stay thirsty, my friends. Good morning to you. Oh, absolutely, OJ. Let's get it, man. I do have some updates I want to share with you. Let's get it going. Daryl writes, I mean her response to the loss. Yes. Her response to the loss. Oh, her response to the loss. Okay. I'm not sure what her response is. Let me go to Nina Turner. She probably did it with grace and dignity. I mean, Turner House, she's a professional at this. She knows how this works. You know what I'm saying? Just because you run don't mean you win, whether you got a name or not. That's not how that works. You look at Nina Turner on Twitter. She writes, we knew this would be an uphill battle from the moment we started this campaign. While we didn't cross the river, we inspired thousands to dream bigger and expect more. We couldn't overcome the influence of dark money, but we left our mark on Ohio 11 and this nation. Okay, so that's what she said. Somebody writes, Nina Turner's concession speech was disgraceful. Is that right? Oh, boy. So listen, if somebody has a link to her concession speech, I'd love to see it. And I don't know, Nina Turner can't get no love. She had all kinds of people behind her, man, from the progressive community, including Cenk Uygur. Is that his last name? He's the founder of TNT or TYT, the Young Turks. They have a brand new, I think it's called Wolf Pack. They have a brand new pack where they support progressive candidates. It didn't work. I can't tell you I'm an expert on the demographics and all of the details of the 11th district in Ohio, so I don't have that kind of information with you, but maybe you do. Maybe you do. I thought that it was a majority African American working class district. And so you would think that on paper that maybe that jives with what Nina Turner had to say and what, over her candidate, her challenger, but it is what it is. Nina Turner can't get no love. She can't get no love. She can't get no love. But, maybe what that says is that Ohio is not that progressive. They don't want a progressive. They want somebody that's more middle of the road. That's the way that the smart, the political scientists and pundits are talking about it. So we can see. We'll find out. Very interesting. Darlene writes, hello, everyone. Kamar writes, yup. In the Bermuda. You chilling in Bermuda, huh? Damn, I bet it's beautiful right now. Deshona writes, good morning, Nathan. Welcome back. Great to be back. Thank you. Great to be back. Daryl writes, I like her too. Truth is, Nina Turner stuck her foot in her mouth one too many times, caping too hard for Bernie Sanders. Well, I mean, if you get on board as a Bernie Sanders or a surrogate for any candidates, it's your job to go 100%. Do you think that people are still holding that against her? I don't know, man. Nina Turner just seems like one of them people, and she scaled it back a little bit. She wasn't like ultra black, liberal, progressive. She scaled it back a little bit. But again, I admit to you that I wasn't plugged into the, what was going on in that race on a weekly basis at all. So Janice writes, Nina Turner needs to change her approach, not her message. Could be. Could be. Just Teach writes, I could just fine. Sound is fine. I can hear Junior's heartbeat over here. Yeah, his heartbeat beating out his little chest, man. Man, listen. And he's gotten older now, so now he all into his daddy, and that's the way it should be. So I can help shape him to be whoever he's going to end up being. So right now, I'm cautiously optimistic about him. Like with my daughter, I already know we did a good job. With my son, little boys, oh my God. So far, I know I got my fingers crossed. I tell people all the time, like my first daughter was like not even really my daughter was the I don't know. It was like we didn't really have a kid. She was the easiest kid ever. I'm telling you, she was the easiest child ever. Barely ever cried, super self contained. I mean, I would blink and a few years would go by and I would tell the wife, you're like, what the hell happened with the time? This kid was so easy. I mean, just so well maintained, right? That's it. She was the easiest child ever. And I'm hoping my son will be the same way, but I know he won't be. Glenn writes, Presley, Omar, AOC, and Cory Bush don't have a problem being progressive left Democrats. I'm just saying. And Nina Turner probably would have joined that group. She probably would have joined that group. So good morning, everybody. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Kevin writes, progressive agenda is sometimes too much about the things that don't affect me. That's the problem for me. I don't care what you do in your bed. I care what you do about me and mine, eating. So give me some examples of that. Because I'm in favor of progressive agenda. I'm in favor of a radical approach to help real people. I'm in favor of the little guy over big government. I'm in favor of all of that kind of stuff. I'm in favor of putting more money in the pockets of everyday working people, even if that means taxing the uber wealthy. I'm in favor of all of that. I mean, we've had the radical right, so why we got to balance it out with the other side, in my opinion. But again, that's just me. That's just me. We'll find out. Kathy writes, "Good morning, all." Sister Irish writes, "Good morning, great people." Drops in the house. Talk about the other Ohio race where the Trump endorsed candidate Mike Carey in the 15th district won. He did. He did. The Trump endorsed candidate Mike Carey won, as you just said. But we don't care about Trump endorsed candidates. Fuck them. Glenn writes, "I'll find it for you, Nate. Thank you so much." Glenn writes, "Talk about the Texas race where the Trump endorsed candidate lost." Right. Tracy writes, "Her concession speech was horrible, salty at best." No, I got to find this. Hold on. Now we got to find this. Let me see. She blames evil money. Evil money? Now I heard of dirty money, but evil money? Nina Turner blames evil money for her loss to Shontel Brown. Is that from what? The labor unions or something? The Democrat establishment was against her. We know that. Let me see if I can find this. She said evil money. What is evil money? Listen, I will say this: if we really want fair elections, that means we got to have publicly funded elections. That means more taxes, which means it's never going to happen. As long as money is a factor in the game, the working class man and woman will always get beat. Let me see if I can find this here. What does evil money? We got this damn evil money. Yeah, somebody send me a link. I'm looking for it right now. It's just not coming up fast enough. I don't want to spend all day on it. But if somebody can take the time and find a link and then send it to me, like a direct message, that'll be great. On Facebook, that'll be great. Because I love it. I love to see it. She was salty, huh? Damn, maybe she had a reason to be salty. I'll be fucking salty. Excuse my language. I'll be freaking salty too, man. Put all my time and money and energy in this and I'm losing. And I know I'm a better candidate for the people. I'll be a little salty. Damn. So the Democrat establishment ganged up and beat her, huh? Roy writes, "It's a majority of African Americans, but everyone's not on her politics." Okay. Glenn writes, "She actually tried to scale it back so far that she started touting her work with John Kasich. That didn't go over well. She got backed by an organization, and I don't know, maybe some people out there can remind me. There's an organization out there that looks for, cultivates, and then helps progressive candidates to run. These are the people that's responsible for AOC. I forget the name of them, but I watched a documentary about some of their candidates, pardon me, last year. And so this same organization got behind Nina Turner. And I respect it. I mean, listen, if you're somebody that want progressive candidates, then coalesce with other people, put your money together and start your own PAC or organization, and then cultivate these candidates. That's what you're supposed to do, right? But it looks like, sometimes it's about timing as well. Janice writes, it's not about her being a progressive. It's her absolutely harsh, sometimes outright nasty approach. Damn, really? I mean, is that fair to say she's harsh? Or is she got a take no prisoners type of attitude? Like, Nina Turner strikes me as a kind of woman that don't play a lot of games. Like, she just say like what she got to say. And it is what it is. Is that harsh? Do we judge women differently? Like, if she was a man with that same type of swagger, will we look at her differently? I don't know. But let's go to the phones. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, comrade.
Hey, good morning, Black Russia. Welcome,
yes,
brother.
Thank you. Hey, you were talking about our revolution.
Sorry, what?
Our revolution.
Who was talking about that? Nina Turner?
No, you were saying the organization that was backing her.
Oh, Armed Revolution. Is that what it's called?
It's called Our Revolution. OUR.
Our Revolution. You're right about it. It is Our Revolution, right? Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you brought them up because they down here in Cincinnati acting a fool too, right? The city council and for the mayor's race, right?
Really? That's here. Good.
You ain't well, yeah. I mean, it depends on your perspective. I like Bernie Sanders personally, but the reality is, I just didn't know if you were that aware. Remember I told you a month ago, there's a war going on outside I don't want to say from?
Mm-hmm.
Man, they out here, bro. Our revolution is down here.
Good.
I'll just let you know. Ask Michelle Dillingham. All right, ask Avtab. This is the super far left. Now, I want people to listen. I mean, I know bro, but I want other people who are listening to this to understand. The same folks who back Nina Turner are back in Avtab Puraval. Same people who are back in Nina Turner are back in Michelle Dillingham. Just keep that in mind.
That's a good thing.
It depends on it depends on your perspective. Like,
yeah.
Do you think do you think that's a good thing? Why? I'm just curious because I know people don't really. I know you were thinking about the organization, but I follow them, so I just want to know what's your perspective on them.
Yeah. I mean, from my perspective, I'm not saying I'm an expert on everything they do, and no, let me add that caveat. But from my perspective, I have no problem with them backing progressive candidates. We need more progressive candidates. I have no problem with that. That's a good thing. What's bad about it?
I just think that politics are different on different levels, right? So, nationally speaking, the political scene nationally is totally different from what it should and does look like, in a municipality.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, Our Revolution. They talk about Medicare for all. We're talking about defund the police. That's all. That's their stick. That's what they're doing. Okay.
I don't know if they talk about defund the police. I think you're being unfair.
Look it up. Look it up. Look it up.
And then they talk about criminal justice reform. They talk about. They got
a platform, bro.
They talk about canceling student debt. What else do they talk about? They talk about the Green New Deal. We know that. They talk about a lot. I never heard them talk about being pro defund the police.
Defund the police? I'm gonna send you the link, bro.
Okay.
They got a website. They got issues up. I'm just saying. I know what we see what happened in Cleveland. The establishment Democrats cut Nina Turner's throat. Apparently, I didn't even know that until you said it. Because I had to watch the race, but you get tied up. I ain't watched the results. But that's how the establishment Democrats are. They're going to squelch that nonsense. Because, see, the reality is America's more to the center than they are to the left or to the right.
Okay.
We're just moderate people. So, but I wanted people to know, like, hey, you saw what happened to Nina Turner up there and the folks who backed her. Just know they down here in Cincinnati and they down here pushing defund the police with Avtab and Michelle Dillingham.
Avtab doesn't support defund the police. I've never heard him say that.
Bro.
I've never heard him say that.
Defund the police.
In fact, he was asked that question in the NAACP forum before the primary. He didn't say he supported defund the police.
He ain't gonna never say it, bro. He ain't gonna never say it.
Maybe it's because he don't support it.
No, he does, bro. He's endorsed by Our Revolution, who is defund the police. They defund the police, bro.
It's not defund the police, man. Number one, that organization existed way before the whole defund the police even hit the radar screen. So it's not fair to
But they
say.
agree with defund. But bro, they agree with defund the police.
I think a
They
lot
agree
of
with
people
that.
agree with the idea of looking at different ways of funding police departments, so it gives you more
Look, you just
flexibility
gonna
to
change
spend the
the
money
words,
other
right?
ways. I think across the board, people support that. I support the idea of thinking outside the box when it comes to funding the Cincinnati Police Department. So it might give us some more wiggle room so we can use that money in other ways. And also, I support looking at the police department and thinking and looking at how they can be the most efficient. There's nothing wrong
Bro,
with
you
that.
just dressed up. You just dressed up defund the police,
No, I
bro.
didn't
It
dress up
sounded
defund the
good. You
police.
did
I
a
just
great job with
explained
that,
it
bro.
without all the propaganda.
This, there's no propaganda in defund
It's
the
straight
police.
up it's straight up
That's
propaganda
shorter
at
than
this
what you
point.
said. That's shorter than what you said. You just gave a dissertation on what reimagining and moving money around, taking money from the police basically and putting it into something else. That's defund the police, bro.
So you
I'm
telling
just
me
saying,
you're not in
our revolution
favor.
is.
So you telling me you're not in favor at looking in the city of Cincinnati at looking at every department and thinking about ways and how we can be more efficient. You're not in favor of that?
That's not what you just said,
That
bro.
is
Now, that's a
exactly
different
what I
question.
just said. Almost word for word. And now I'm asking
Nah,
you a question. Do you support that?
I support funding the police. I
I
support
never
getting
asked
Google
you to
Blue
support
classes to come
funding
to this
police.
month.
That's not what I asked you.
Hey,
Let me ask
but
you
it's
again,
a
Black
choice between
Russia.
these.
Let me ask
All
you
right, let's
again.
try it again.
Do you support in the city of Cincinnati looking at each and every department and asking ourselves, can we do this better? Is there a more efficient or even cost-saving way of doing the business of the city?
Everyone except for police and fire.
Okay.
Those,
See, that's
those
what we
two are those
disagree
two are
at.
off limits.
For me,
Well, we do.
everybody is over. Every department, police and fire, they can get that work too. Everybody
See,
should
there you
be in a
go.
position
That's before the
where we
police,
can
bro.
look at them in terms of oversight and say, you know what, this is working, this is not working. Maybe we can save some money. Maybe we can't save some money. I think that's just smart business.
I hear you. Hey, you know, Brian Gary is having a press conference today about his gun violence plan. He's backed by our revolution. I'm just saying, bro. This
Is
is the
he? Because I'm
where
on
are
their
these? What
website right
he is.
now, and they're not. I'm looking at their endorsements. They are endorsing AvTab, but I don't see them endorsing anybody else. I'm not saying you're wrong.
Michelle
I'm just
Dillingham,
saying.
Michelle Dillingham's on there. Keep going down in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
She's on there. You see her? She should be right underneath AvTab in Ohio. Like you keep going down, they're gonna have city council. It might be after this
Okay.
order
I
because
might
they
have
do the
missed
whole
it then.
state.
Let me check this out. Yeah. Good for
Because they have
Michelle
a whole
then.
list of
Great.
folks.
Good
Well,
for
I just want you to
Michelle.
know. I want people to know. I want people to be aware
They
that
also
our
supported
revolution.
Charmaine
Go ahead.
McGuffey. Smart choice.
She can't find her gun, bro. So I don't know if that's smart or not. They still looking for a gun.
Well, somebody robbed her. I mean, what the hell?
Man, so they robbed the sheriff, bro. Come on.
Yeah, they robbed the
go.
sheriff.
All right, Conrad. Hey, look, man. Brian Gary got a press conference. All these white males are now grandstanding. White male liberals. I want to make sure I'm very clear with that. But these white male liberals are now grandstanding on the backs of black violence. And you have nothing to say about that. We had Lance yesterday. Now we got Brian Gary today, bro. It's just
So you
it
think?
infuriates me, bro.
Wait. So you think
That's
that
gullible
Greg
black
Landsman
folks.
is grandstanding?
Look, bro. What
You
he
are
said
not being
yesterday.
consistent, man. You are not being
No,
consistent.
dog. What? No, I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a question now. What in his plan for public safety yesterday had anything to do with police department involvement? Nothing. That's grandstanding.
Who
If
said
police
it
are
was
not involved
supposed to?
in exactly. See, there we go. That's why we got a fundamental disagreement. Police have to be involved
We
in
do.
these shootings, bro, to
Well,
get this stuff happening.
no, not always. I
You
think the
don't think
police
so?
are part of the
Oh man.
equation, but I think the community. I think that. So let me back up here because I see what you're trying to do, and I just can't let you get away with it, man. Because I want people to see this for what it really is. So you just asked me, I think, a completely unfair and ridiculous question that has
Nah,
nothing to
man, come
do with
on.
anything whatsoever. Because if Cincinnati is going to deal with the crime problem, wouldn't you agree, sir, that it's going to be a partnership between the community and the
Hang on,
police?
hold on.
What's that now?
I'm sorry. Fans is watching. They flew over. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I said, wouldn't you agree that if we're going to make any serious, headway in dealing with gun violence in the city, it's going to be community and police, right?
It should be a partnership.
On some level, it's going to be a partnership, but it's going to be both of those actors doing what they can. So, as I understand it, Greg Landsman's proposal was to create a fund so that community organizations that come up with ideas that might work in their neighborhoods, they can get funding and start these programs. I don't see a problem with that.
You think these programs are going to stop shootings in the streets of Cincinnati?
I don't think any one program is going to stop shootings in Cincinnati, but I think that when people try to address these problems, they're going to come in the forms of programs. Like when we come up with the solutions, part of that's going to be a series of programs. That just makes sense to me. So if you're going to come up with a series of programs, you got to fund it. So that's what Greg Landsman proposed.
Yeah, maybe it's just a philosophical disagreement. I'm just not sure if programs can stop shooting. That's just, I don't know. I don't think so, but, everybody is entitled to their opinion. I'm just interested to see what Brian Gary is going to propose now. Because you would think that, hey, he's been out in the community the last 20 years. He had a press conference like this by now. But he's running for council. He's well funded this time around.
See, to be fair to Brian Gary, this won't be his first press conference about the shootings. He's been doing this work for the last few years. He's been going hard.
Man, I don't know, man. Reverend McCracken ain't around no more. So, about the shootings, I don't know, man.
Yes,
Brian Gary's been out here doing other
Brian
stuff.
Gary's been out there. Now, you might look at it as cynical and say he's just doing this because he want to get elected. That can be your viewpoint. But the fact remains.
That's not yours?
Brian, I'm just saying, we could talk about that next. But Brian Gary,
okay,
this ain't his first press conference. He didn't just jump on this. He's been trying to raise awareness and bring the community together about this issue for the last few years. Maybe longer than that. But all I can really just speak for is what I can remember, and that's the last few years.
I understand. Why do Democrats play him, though? He's been in the game 20 years. You say he's been out here so long, and it came down to endorsements, and they left him out in the cold. I'm just curious as to why they did that to him.
I don't know.
He's this advocate.
I don't know. You have to ask the people that was on the Democrat selection committee. I don't know why Brian Gary didn't get it. I can't remember if I ever asked that question, or I can't remember. I don't think I know that. In fact, I don't.
You should try to
anything.
get Brian Gary on your show, like you did Lance the other day. You should try to get Brian Gary on there. I'm always interested to hear about
Brian's a big fan of the show.
Gary.
Yeah, for sure. I can reach out to him, get him on the show.
He
can talk about what he's been doing for years, and you'll find very quickly that that's not his first press conference. He's been doing this for a while.
All right, well, get him, Conrad. I'll holler at you.
All right, take it easy, Black Rush. So our revolution is somehow anti-police. I do not believe that. I don't believe that at all. And the smartest thing in the world for any business to do is to look at what you're doing and asking yourself, does it really work? That's just smart. And that includes police and fire. You know what I'm saying? That includes police and fire. I am not one of these individuals that believe that we got to have 1,500, 1,100 police officers in Cincinnati in order to feel safe. I don't believe that one bit. If we had 2,000 police officers, there would still be gun violence in the city of Cincinnati because police officers do not stop gun violence. They respond to it. I'm going to go ahead and say that if we had 1,500 police officers, we would still have a gun violence problem. One doesn't have anything to do with the other. But they got Cincinnatians convinced that if we dip below 1,100 police officers or 1,000 police officers, oh, Lordy, how are we going to deal with and manage? I don't believe that one bit. And I support the Cincinnati Police Department. At the same time, I support looking at the Cincinnati Police Department and asking ourselves, are we getting the best bang for our dollars? How can we save money? How can we do it more efficiently? I think that's just smart. You don't have to be against anybody to look at the numbers. That's just smart business. You know what I'm saying? That's just smart business. 513-873-7134. Family, if you want to share your thoughts this morning. Listen, just thoughts and prayers going out to Ask Ashley. She had a death in her family. That's why we didn't do Midday Juice Tuesday. And I'll plug back in with her and see how she feels about doing it tomorrow. But, family always come first. This will be here, but family comes first. So I just want to say that her and her family is in my thoughts and prayers this morning. And it's just terrible what we do to one another, man. It's terrible. We got Drop on the line. All smiles. Before we go to Drop, a word from our sponsor.
The words for today are attract better relationships. It takes 60 seconds for the universe, through the invisible law of attraction, to be fully activated in your life. God's invisible law of attraction is available to you today because you are just 60 seconds away from attracting better relationships. Take the next 60 seconds and attract better relationships by telling a relationship story for 60 seconds, 3 times a day for 21 days. Why 21 days? Because that's how long it takes to change your life. Now say this relationship story out loud 3 times a day. It is my divine and human right to attract new, wonderful, and dynamic relationships today. I am attracting and allowing new and exciting people in my life. I am a blessing to all of my family and my friends. For a free ebook, visit renewcommunitychurch.org.
No, it's your fault. Good morning to you. Hey, listen, I just got some breaking news here I want to share with you before we bring Drop on. I'm reading that CDC issues eviction order in areas of substantial and high transmission. So it looks like they're going to extend the moratorium. So if you don't know that, I mean, there's a lot of folks out there that was looking at being evicted from their homes. And the federal moratorium ended. And now it looks like this order will expire now. They're going to extend it to the beginning of October. So that gives you another couple of months here. And I'm glad to hear about it. It's a lot of people out there that are in need right now. You got local agencies and organizations that are working really, really hard. And, just kind of think about that, man. You can only imagine the deluge of requests that some of these agencies and organizations might be receiving. So I hate to see anybody not in a home safe. That's where, without that, what do you have? Without that zip code, without that address, what do you have? So again, just a breaking news here. The CDC is extending it, the eviction moratorium in places around the country in which there is a high transmission rate of COVID. Why? Because we might be going back to another quarantine, y'all. Humans worse than COVID. I don't blame COVID. I blame humans. I blame the humans. So just like a heads up on that, as it relates to the CDC and the evictions out there. You might know somebody that's dealing with that. Hopefully not. But the CDC has now issued a new eviction moratorium, and the eviction ban will be in effect through October 3rd. That's a tough situation because if you are let's say you are a landlord, this is how you make your money. COVID hits, you still want to make your money, but the people that's living in your building, they can't afford to pay. They might have lost their jobs, they might have been laid off, their business might have just folded. That's a tough situation. And if you're the government, you got an interest on both hands. Number one, you want those landlords to get their money. That's commerce. At the same time, nobody wins when families are on the streets. We don't win. We're not winning when people are evicted. Man, that's a tough situation. Have you ever been evicted? You ever had your stuff put out on the side of the road? I have not. Like I said, I grew up a Section 8 kid. Chairman Mom did what she had to do to make it work for us. But that's a really tough situation. And then sometimes I've driven around the city and you can see people's whole stuff out on the side of the road. It just breaks my heart. Breaks my heart because I'm like, man, did somebody's family just get put out? Just a terrible thing, man. So for all the people working on that, and I know there's a lot of good people in the city of Cincinnati that are working on that, nonprofit organizations, agencies that are working on this, and I wish them the best. I wish them all the best. Let's go straight to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivey. How you doing, sir?
I am well. Drop. Welcome to the show, brother.
Hey, thank you for taking my call. Mr. Ivey, you were just talking to Black Russia, shout out to the Alt Middle and their affiliates, about these candidates who say they're not for defund the police, but they're endorsed by organizations who want to defund the police. So, and then you artfully stated it as reimagining law enforcement. Now, Mr. Ivey, I got one question, sir. All these defund the police people, they say they want to take money from the police department and law enforcement and put it in other places. Am I correct?
I think that's part of it.
Okay, so Mr. Ivey, this is the one question I've been asking myself ever since this demand from Black Lives Matter. That's where defund the police came from.
Really?
It was not originally a Democrat policy, but it is now. And I've always had
I
this
don't believe
question.
that.
Maybe you can answer it for me. You what?
I don't believe that.
You don't believe that defunding the police was an original Black Lives Matter
I don't
demand
believe
during the
defund
George
the
Floyd?
police. No, I'm saying I don't believe that defund the police is a Democrat policy. I haven't seen that.
Black Russia just told you these super PACs and organizations who are funding these politicians is part of their platform.
Yeah, but our revolution
The
don't represent the
Democrats,
Democrat Party. Hold on. Doc.
Democrats.
Our
Yes.
revolution does not represent the Democrat Party. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh,
I've
okay.
heard
All
no
right. So
Democrat candidates come out and say, or the Democrat Party come out and say, we support defund the police. I haven't heard that.
yeah, because they use political speak and they rearrange the words like they always do. But
Well,
here's my original
or
question.
they don't really believe in defund the police, but they do believe
Right.
in taking another look at how we do things and maybe coming up with a more efficient way.
Right, which
See,
is money.
defund
It's
the police
always
has a negative
about the
connotation
money.
to it.
I understand that, sir, but we're talking about money. Am I correct?
No, we're talking about money. We're talking about efficiency. We're talking about representation. We're talking about a lot of different things. It's not just about the money
Okay.
for me. Can't speak for anybody else.
Okay.
It's about
Okay.
finding a
Well,
more
let's talk.
efficient way to use our tax dollars. That's the core.
That's money. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. See, you're not going to take me off my point.
Okay, I
Okay.
don't want to.
So here's my question, Mr. Ivey.
Yes, sir.
Why not leave the money that law enforcement has, right? You can still do your reimagining and increase the budget to fund these other things that you want to take money from the police budget and apply it in other areas of the budget. Why not just expand the budget?
That means you have to
That's the
expand
question.
your revenue source.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So that
Okay,
means
so-
how do you
so-
expand your revenue source?
You have to raise taxes, or you have to get federal funding. But what they're talking about is just moving money around. That's all. Because California, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., some of these cities, their law enforcement budget or their police budget is over $1 billion. So these activists, or you say these revolutionaries, they see they can get money from the police department and put it in other places that the budget does not allow. Because we all know when you're talking about allocating money in a budget, you got to debate. You got to get people to approve it. So if you want to take money and paint Black Lives Matter murals, if you want to take that money from the police department, then they're down for it. But if you want to make that a separate budget item, you're going to have a problem. Now, the other thing I called about, Mr. Ivey, is the state of the Democrat Party. You got Governor Andrew grab him in the biscuit Cuomo, who was just, humiliated in front of everybody by the state's attorney and the federal federal attorney, and he's going to be forced to probably resign or he's going to be impeached. Then you have the California governor, Gavin Newsom, out here in California, who's going to be recalled in September. Then you had the thing that happened in the 11th district in Ohio between Nina Turner, the progressive wing, and the establishment wing, which was backed by James Clyburn. Then on top of that, Chantel Brown, beautiful young lady. I'm happy to see any young Black person get into politics, because at some point we're going to start having different politicians out here. They ain't going to follow the normal format. But anyway, it just seems to me, Mr. Ivey, after 6 months in office, after receiving more votes than any other presidential candidate in U.S. history, the Democrat Party, led by Joe Biden, is a huge mess, Mr. Ivey, that they're going to have to work out between now and the midterm elections. Because if they
How
don't,
is it a huge mess? What are you talking about?
I just listed it. You got two Democrat governors in blue states either being impeached or recalled. You got the divide in the Democrat Party between the progressive wing and the establishment wing, especially over this whole moratorium on evictions, because after October, we're going to be right back in the same place. So, again, all I'm saying is, Mr. Ivey, the Democrat Party is a mess. The Republican Party is solid. It is solid. I don't care what nobody says. It's Mr. Ivey. Oh, okay. You laugh.
Oh, my God.
You laugh.
That's
okay,
hilarious.
like I told you, I know you can laugh, but it's always about the money.
Is so strong, bro.
But Mr. Ivey, Donald Trump has raised over $100 million, Mr. Ivey.
Yeah, based on lies.
It doesn't matter.
I know it don't
it's
matter.
It's always about we the people. Follow the money. Money is political speech, okay? Ask Nina Turner about that evil money, okay? So if you got evil money, you can have good money, but it's all money.
Evil money.
It's always about the money. Yeah, Glenn from Mason, he dropped a link in there to the video.
Did he?
Nina Turner. Yeah, he dropped it in the chat on YouTube.
Chat, but if you direct message me, it's much easier for me to get it that way.
Oh, I also posted the same link on your Twitter feed this morning. Your Twitter feed that you put out.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's all I got, Mr. Ivey. The state of the Democrat. Maybe you can have Danita. I'm just messing with you, Danita. You know I love you, girl. Maybe you can have Danita come and fact check me, because it's a problem that I'm not saying they can't fix it between now and the midterms, but it just looks like the Democrat Party, it's just a mess. And then, of course, the big elephant in the room is immigration. And the only reason that they don't talk about it out here in California is because California is a blue state. But in Texas, it's a red state. But again, that's all I got, Mr. Ivey. Thank you for taking my call. And y'all have a nice day. And shout out to all the politicians who won yesterday in Ohio.
You said you sent it to me?
Out.
Where?
Huh?
Where exactly? I don't see it.
Twitter. Twitter this morning.
Linked me?
It's a link.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think it's Newsweek. And then within Newsweek, there's a video of her speech.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Yep. All right, later.
It easy, brother. That's a Black Not Democrat checking in. Yeah, I want to see this concession speech from Nina Turner. People are saying that she was salty, and we trying to say she wasn't professional with it or something like that. She's probably in her feelings. She just lost, put a lot of her heart and soul into it. You know, it is what it is, but I still think that even in a loss, there could be another race. You always want to conduct yourself in a certain way, but I haven't been there before. I mean, if I ran for something and lost, I might be salty in the fuck anyway. Like I said, I'm tragically flawed. I'm tragically flawed human. You know what I'm saying? I'm effed up like everybody else is. I admit it. I ain't trying to front. What is this? This is not what I'm looking for. All right, let me see if I can get this Nina Turner video out. Oh, okay, I think I got it. Here it is.
See, there's a debt that has to be paid. And Sister Turner not playing. I am going to work hard to ensure that something like this never happens to a progressive candidate again.
Something like what?
See, we didn't lose this race. Evil money manipulated and maligned this election. And I don't want you to relent, because it took evil money. It took evil money to come in here and do this. But I swear to you,
they got the right one.
That as sure as there is a God in heaven, Sister Turner gonna continue dreams.
Yeah, Nina Turner got a little sexiness to me. There's something sexy about her. I don't know what it is. Hold on one second. Yeah, stop that. So, I mean, that was only a clip there. I mean, she probably spoke for about 20, 25 minutes, 15 minutes or so. We only got like 2 minutes of it. I didn't see any big deal. I mean, I don't know what she means by evil money. Is that the dark money that comes in? You know, is that what she's talking about when she said evil money, but she means dark money coming in from different ways? I mean, money in politics means everything. You can get your message out there, and you can sometimes create the narrative around your candidate. I mean, your opponent. Money matters. Money matters. So she says the evil money. That'll be Diddy's next group. From dirty money to evil money. And this could have been big. So I don't know what that means. You have to tell me exactly what that means. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Nate? Can you hear me, man?
I can't hear you, brother. Welcome.
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, let me turn you down. Let me turn my laptop down. I got all type of shit going on. Good morning, man. I wanted to call in about Nina Turner specifically, and
Okay.
I'll talk about Drop Smollett in a little bit. But Nina Turner's problem, Nate, is that she went back into that whole Bernie Sanders mode. And this was her problem from the very beginning. You know, remember when she said, you know, picking between Joe Biden and Donald Trump is like, you know, a bowl of shit or a half a bowl of shit? You know, pardon my French, so little one's gone. But yeah, we remember that. Well, of course that didn't sit well. Then she tried to play James Clyburn as if, you know, he was Tim Scott. You know, she insinuated that. Of course that doesn't play well. But then this is the same Nina Turner, that progressive, that was able to win a state Senate seat. This is the same Nina Turner that was able to win. I believe she was a councilwoman at a time in Northern Ohio. So this is the problem that she had, Nate. And then when you talked about her trying to reimagine her message or her campaign, and I put it in the chat, this is when she started touting her, collaboration with John Kasich. Of course, that didn't sit well. You see where I'm going with just the politics of it all. We don't have to get into personality, just the politics of it all. And then you had Chantel Brown, who, you know, I guess you could say is the establishment candidate or the one least unlikely to say two bowls of shit, that type of thing. Put it this way, and I had this analogy. I was talking to a friend last night. It's kind of like the difference between what's the Jean Pierre getting a job at the White House and Simone Sanders not getting that job. It's really kind of that simple, but it's not that simple. And for those like Drop or Black Russia that try to play the progressive left doesn't have a place in the Democratic Party, they freaking Democrats, you fools. And this gets back to Drop. This whole idea that the Democrats are divided. Nate, this is the same people that just got rid of the number 3 woman in the Republican Party, Liz Cheney. The daughter of Darth Vader, Dick Cheney, who, I don't know, who's more conservative and who's more Republican, Nate? Liz Cheney or MAGA, Kevin McCarthy, Jim Jordan, or Donald Trump? What do you think about it, folks? So, and then I love, he actually tried to tell, well, you know, Nate, Donald Trump has $100 million in the bank. They were just talking about it, Drop. He hasn't spent one single cent on Republican candidates. So he just grifted this out of all you guys again. He grifted the Republican Party and MAGA again with the Stop the Steal rally. And Drop, what happened to Steve Bannon and his whole group of alt-right conservatives who had a fund, to build that wall? Drop, you didn't mention that, Drop, did you? Oh, he also didn't mention, and plenty of people in the chop shop noticed, last week, Nate, they got the notes from the acting attorney general that took over William Barr when he just summarily quit. Like, I'm out of here right before the inauguration. They got notes of Donald, where he took contemporaneous notes, the whole James Comey thing. He took notes where Donald Trump is saying, just say that the election is corrupt. I'll handle the rest and the Republicans. This is why they don't want the January 6th commission, Nate, because, what does he mean? I'll handle the rest along with the Republicans. That means Jim Jordan. That means Kevin McCarthy. That means Paul Gosars of the world, probably Marjorie Taylor Greene, all the usual suspects, the ones that were giving the tour on January 5th before the January 6th domestic terrorist attack. Come on, Drop. So who's really in disarray? Who's really desperate? Your boy, and I didn't believe this, Nate, because, I just thought, like, the way America works, and if you, even if you're a fake billionaire like Donald Trump, there's probably no chance that you're going to go to jail. Nate, I'll put it on the bank right now. Chop Shop exclusive. Donald Trump will be indicted before the end of the year. He might not be in jail, but he will be indicted before the end of the year. Nate, I got to get ready, man. Let me calm down. I might do a couple push-ups. Petty peace.
Appreciate the call. Let me move on. 513-873-7134. You can see it right there if you want to share your thoughts. Only one maxim. It's been the same for many years. Nothing's changed. Open your mind before you open your mouth. That's it. Open your mind before you open your mouth. What's popping for the weekend? It's Wednesday. I'm looking ahead. What's going on this Friday? What's going on this Saturday? What's going on this Sunday? Let me know. Maybe I can show up in the spot. I'm looking to get out as much as possible, if COVID allows me to. All right, let me give you some more news that may or may not be on your radar screen this morning. I want to get straight to it. First, we got another call here. Let's go straight to the phone calls. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. This is Kathy Goodwin-Williams. How are you?
Hey, Kathy. Good morning. Is that Kathy with a K?
Yes, it is.
Good morning.
Good morning. So I just called because I wanted to chime in on this topic. And as I stated in the chat, I support both women. I think they're both great in different ways, but yet the same. I know Chantel personally, and I hear people say that Nina is more of a fighter than Chantel. Chantel is a fighter as well. It's just in a different way. Chantel's background, she has a very extensive background in the Democratic Party in Northern Ohio. She's been politically active for a very long time, but the majority of that time has been spent behind the scenes. And anybody who knows politics in Ohio knows that anything that happens in the state of Ohio, as far as the Democratic Party is concerned, has to move through Cleveland. And she's been a part of that. So when you spend all of the years and time that she has, meeting a lot of the influential people and politicians who move through the state of Ohio in the party, you're going to cultivate and develop those relationships. And that is exactly what Hillary Clinton was able to do for her. Regardless of how you feel about established politicians, because as some people know, in my run for state representative in the primary, I didn't win in the primary in 2018, but I took 40% of the vote, and that was a surprise to many people. But they were, Chantel and a group of very strong and powerful women in Northern Ohio were very instrumental in helping me. I'll just say helping me in that race. So I know Chantel, and she'll do great things for the state of Ohio and Cleveland, Ohio. So I just tell people to, who are, who have an interest in, that part of the state to just, take some time and see, what she does and study her politics. And I think that you will, however you feel about the establishments, that's a whole nother show for me in terms of the establishment. But, I support both women. And I'll even say that I identify more with Nina Turner in terms of, her being outspoken and just saying whatever needs to be said. But, don't count Chantel out. Just, be aware and take some time to lean into her politics, and you'll see that she's just as strong and as much of a fighter as Nina.
Okay. All right, Kathy. Appreciate that insight.
All right.
Yeah, appreciate
Thank
Kathy
you.
Champion. She said, "Listen, don't sleep on the sister." Again, I mean, generally speaking, I don't know enough about Chantel Brown, but I mean, sister, Democrat. I mean, let's see what she got to say and what she does. From what I understand, whoever won the primary has a really good shot of being a Republican because it's a Democrat district. So, this could be a walk in the park for her, kinda. We'll have to wait and see. But another, and that's the seat that was held by Marcia Fudge, I believe. So, keeping it in black hands, that's a good thing. Black female leadership. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Bunky is not gonna let this go, huh? What's up, Nathan Choppers, and hello to the Biden sexuals. What's in your jab? He just ain't gonna let that go. He ain't gonna let it go. Shannon's in the house. Hey, good to see you, sister. As always. That's Shannon checking in. Let me see. Nikki writes, "Good morning, everyone." Brandy writes, "Good morning." Let me see. Patricia writes, "Of course the police needs funding. The question is, how is the money allocated?" See, a lot of people try to use defund the police as fear mongering. They're trying to disband the police. We have no police. And for a lot of uninformed voters, they believe that. Like, oh, now they trying to attack the police. They don't want us to have no protection between us and the angry black and brown hordes. You know what I'm saying? Them black teenagers, they might come take everything we have. They're scared. That's why when people bring that up, I try to be as precise with the conversation as possible because, I don't know. Ronald writes, "Our revolution says defund, demilitarize, de-escalate, de-police." Okay. Let me see. Russian drop of Cincinnati. It's hilarious. Let me move on here. So let me go back to this cover story. So I want to let you know, I got 3 stories that you might have missed. So we talked about Melanie Bates. She has decided that she's not going to run for re-election. She's going to retire from public service. And thank God. We've talked about the 2 sisters going at it in the Ohio, I think it's the 11th district for Congress. Nina Turner lost the primary last night. I'm not sure if that's a surprise to you. What does that say? Do you have an opinion about it? But let's talk about this couple here on the top right. Remember, these are the folks from, I believe, Minnesota. Black Lives Matter protesters were walking through their gated community, $1 million homes. And this white couple decided to walk outside and to threaten them with guns. I said it was in Missouri. Missouri. Yes, remember this couple? This was Mark McClaskey and his wife Patricia McClaskey. Right? They both pled guilty. Mark McClaskey pled guilty to a misdemeanor 4th-degree assault and was fined $750. His daughter, Patricia McClaskey, pleaded guilty to misdemeanor harassment and was fined $2,000. As I understand it, they live in $1 million home in Missouri. And remember the summer of discontent last year? People was marching all through. Some Black Lives Matter protesters, that's what they're being called, they were marching through their neighborhood. There's no reports that they were vandalizing anything. There's no reports that they were robbing anybody. They were marching through. And then the couple came out with their guns like, psh, y'all ain't coming over here. See if I can get a better image for you. You can check this couple out. I'm not going to their house for dinner. Look at them right here. That's Patricia and Mark McClaskey. He's got his, what is that? Is that I'm not sure what that is. And she's got her handgun. They ready to go. They are ready to go. They ain't ready to work out at all, but they got their weapons ready in front of their $1 million home. And they claimed that it was self-defense, but there was no threat. Nobody pointed guns at them. And they were charged, they were arrested, and they pled guilty. Well, the Missouri governor, the governor of Missouri, a man by the name of Mike Parson, announced just yesterday that he made good on his promise to pardon this couple. Yeah, because they became like big celebrities on Fox News. Let me get this. So they take their weapons and point it at peaceful protesters, get charged for it, and now they became celebrities to the point where the governor in Missouri pardoned them. Now I'm sure it's a lot of people in Missouri that deserve the pardon, but they ain't work. They're not one of them. And Mark McCloskey has no remorse. He has publicly stated that if he was in that same situation again, he'd do the exact same thing. A message through his lawyer is that he believes that the pardon vindicates his conduct. So now he feels as if he's completely vindicated to pull a weapon on somebody because they're walking past their house. They said that they're both lawyers. They've said they felt threatened by the protesters who were passing by their home in June of 2020. They were on their way to demonstrate in front of the mayor's house. Apparently, this is a nice little, ritzy neighborhood where a lot of wealthy people live. And the protesters were marching to the mayor's house, walked past their house. They decided to come out with his AR-15, and she had a semi-automatic pistol. The whole thing got caught on cell phone video. And see, this is good white folks for you right here. Let me show you an image of what white people can do in this country. See, white people can put on a suit, clean up a little bit, and look completely different to everybody. Hold on one second. You need to see this. You need to see this. So this is the image I got up right now, right? This is what happened the day of. This is what they look like when they went to court. See this? A little different. Now, again, they're both lawyers, so they know the optic game. So they went from this to that. Oh, we just good white folks. Oh, lordy, lordy, we just want to protect our property. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. See, this is the real right here. And this is the fake. This is the real. This is the fake. But they've been pardoned now. That's the world we live in. So congratulations. Fuck them, actually. I don't give a damn. They should be in jail right now, my opinion. I won't say if they were black. I won't even say it. I don't need to say it because we already know. I don't even waste the time with it, but we already know. If they were black. Speaking of which, you remember this was last year. This was last year. We talked about this for like at least an hour. A story came to us from Indiana. Apparently, allegedly, there was a racially charged attack at a lake in Indiana. A black man says that they was trying to lynch him. He said he was beaten by several white men. I played the video for you. They had like some kind of rope. He was afraid that they was going to try to lynch him, right? That was like the headline. We played the video. We talked about it at length, the whole 9 yards. I'm not sure how you pronounce this. Vauhxx. How you pronounce that? I don't know, but we'll say Va Booker, 37. Check this out. Was charged last week on Friday by a special prosecutor in this case. Now, Mr. Booker is the person who wrote about this on Facebook, saying that he was the victim of an attempted lynching. Remember this? Let me screenshot this for you. You can check this out. And in the video, you see, it just seems like some white folks and something was going on. They had their hands on him, and it just, I couldn't really tell everything was going from the video. But when I show you this image here, it might jog your memory. Check this out. You gotta see this. You gotta see this. Don't go anywhere. You gotta see this. And I'm gonna tell you the update on this story. Check this out, right? So remember, this story came from Indiana, right? That's the brother right there, Mr. Booker on the left. And that's the image from the video. Apparently, he was like tied to the tree. They was going to kind of lynch him in the woods or something like that. Remember that? Quote, I was attacked by 5 white men with Confederate flags who literally threatened to lynch me in front of numerous witnesses, he wrote on Facebook. The story went off. And now Mr. Booker himself has been charged with a felony. Now, how the hell did that happen? So apparently, the men who were involved were charged with a series of felonies, including criminal confinement, bodily injury, battery, all kinds of things. But now Mr. Booker himself, he says that he refused to sign a confidentiality clause that would have dismissed the charges against two of the men involved. So how the hell did he end up being charged? Let me give you the link. It's on the Griot this morning. No, it's not. It's on another website. I'll post a link for you. You can check it out for yourself. How the hell? That's so America. So you come forward and say that you were attempted to be lynched, like some people attempt to lynch you, and then you end up getting charged with a felony on top of it. At a press conference, Booker and his attorney said that the charges against him are in retaliation because he would not go along with the proposed reconciliation plan. Reconciliation plan? So let me get this straight. Some white people try to lynch you. They put their hands on you. They cause bodily injury to you. You go to the police and the prosecutors try to come up with a reconciliation plan? Ain't no reconciliation, boo. Ain't no reconciliation in that. That is amazing. I posted a link. You can check it out for yourself. Absolutely amazing, man. The days that we live in. We are living in the last days of good damn common sense. We're living in last days of good damn common sense. I got another story for you. A San Diego man is accusing a Bank of America branch of mistreating him because of his skin color after they refuse to cash a 5-figure check. Now think about it, 5 figures. That means it was like double digits, Attorney John Pittman III said it was a case of banking while black when he walked into a Bank of America located in Pacific Beach, California, trying to cash a $12,000 insurance settlement a $12,000 insurance settlement check. He said he was met with resistance and even accused of stealing during an incident that took place last January. I think we talked about this a little bit. He received a check from Geico following a car accident. It was drawn from a Bank of America account. During the transaction, he showed the teller his paperwork from the insurance company. He had 3 forms of identification: a driver's license, a passport, and a birth certificate, verifying that the check belonged to him and it was valid. Now think about this. Have you ever gone into a bank to try to cash a check from your account that's in your name? Now, I've done it before where you don't necessarily have an account at that bank, but the bank, that's the bank that's on the check. So you go back to them thinking, okay, they can sign it. They can cash it for you, right? Apparently, soon after, the teller walked away and called upon an assistant manager who said that she couldn't cash it because the name on the check did not include the third. So apparently his name is John Pittman III. And the check only said John Pittman. Now, do you think that's a valid enough reason for a cashier to not cash a check? He's got all the forms of identity. It just doesn't say the third on it. Now, it did appear on his identification and the Geico paperwork. Mr. Pittman suggested that they call the insurance company to clarify any confusion surrounding the validity of the check. I could see myself doing that. He said they refused. Nah, we can't do that. We can't do that. The assistant manager said that even if we call to verify, we have no way to know that we verified. Huh? Huh? Exactly. So apparently he pressed him some more. He said that the assistant manager left for a little while and came back. And when she came back, she told him that she had called the authorities and accused him of trying to steal money from John Pittman. He's John Pittman. So just put yourself in the situation for a second. You're a professional. He's a lawyer. He's a professional. He gets his insurance money. He goes to cash it at the bank that the check was drawn from. You walk in there with your 3 forms of identification. The only discrepancy is that it doesn't have the suffix the third on the check itself. They look at the check and was like, you must be trying to rob somebody. When he realized that this wasn't going well, he took the check and took it to another credit union. He took it to his own bank and cashed it there. And a spokesman for the bank said that the employee and the assistant manager followed proper protocols, and also noted that the police were never actually contacted. So they lied to him. They said they wanted to scare him. And my thing about that is, if you really think that it's a crime being in the commission of happening, why didn't you really call the police? Why are you playing games? Quote, this is standard industry practice. It is based on best practices to protect against potential fraud. So I want to know what you think about it, family. So number one, he did not have an account at that bank. And on the check itself, it did not have the suffix the third, because he's John Pittman the third, right? Do you think that's enough for a bank teller and an assistant manager to raise their suspicions? Like, how do we know this is really you? How do you know you're not trying to steal from John Pittman? Maybe you're John Pittman the third, and this check was made out to John Pittman. Do you know John Pittman? He's my dad. He's my grandfather. Oh, no. So maybe it was a bunch of factors. Maybe it was the fact that he wasn't an actual customer at the bank. The amount of the check is over $10,000, and the fact that there was a discrepancy in terms of not having the suffix. Does that make sense for you? Or is this just some black wild banking type shit? And if he was a white dude, they would have been like, well, we're going to go ahead and trust you. Everything else checks out, so we ain't going to make a big deal about it, but we would recommend that maybe you start an account with us here, Mr. Pittman. How about that? Oh, no. Quote, it makes you feel 2 inches tall. It makes you feel targeted. I didn't stick around for the police to come, but I guess if I stayed there, the police would have shown up. The situation could have gotten ugly, you know? That's what he says. Now, is that banking while black, or is that bank employees doing their job? You tell me. 513-873-7134. I've given you the facts as I know them. Is that banking while black? They was like, no, this black man couldn't be. You got a 5-figure check? Nah, must be a scam. Or, hey, your name, you don't have an account with us, which I don't think that's that uncommon. I think people go to banks all the time. They don't have accounts there, but the check is drawn from that particular bank, right? Happens all the time. I've done it. You've probably done it. Just makes perfect sense. Have you ever cashed a check where the suffix was a little bit off? Like maybe you're the third or the second, and the check itself doesn't reflect that. Is that enough? I don't know. I mean, I love to talk with somebody that works in the banking industry right now to see how they might have dealt with it. But again, my question for you is that banking while black, or is that just the banking employees doing their job? They're trying to prevent fraud. Nikki writes, Nina Turner lost for other reasons, not evil money. Evil money. You tell me. Nat writes, I'd rather have Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren policy than Biden's. We'd all be better off. I agree with you. I would have chosen Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren over Biden. That was just me personally. Did he call Dick Cheney Darth Vader? He did. He did. Good morning to you. Let me see. Catching up. Again, you tell me. I put the facts out there. It's just a conversation piece. We talk about black, wild, this, that, and the other. And, maybe sometimes people get in their feelings. Or maybe dude was justified. Maybe he was justified. If that was your bank, what would you want your bank to do? You tell me. He's charged because the system doesn't believe in letting a black man go free without them getting what they want from the situation. You said that's some Klan-ish, could be. What's a reconciliation plan? Like, if a mofo put their hands on me, like 3-4 dudes gang up, put their hands on me on some we gonna lynch him type shit, and I escape the situation and go to the law, I'm not reconciling. I ain't signing no damn reconciliation plan. I want you prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, period. If that means jail time, I want you to sit in jail for as long as possible. I'm not signing no damn reconciliation plan. You put your hands on me? Hell no. Hell no. Great call, Kathy. Absolutely. Racker. Janice writes, a note, white America is fighting black Americans, not because we are losers. It is because we are winners. Winners do not fight losers as hard. Remember that. It's difficult to understand, but it's true. Dale writes, where did this happen? In California. Somebody writes, pull out all my money and file a complaint. Jerome writes, you need to cash a big check at your bank if you're black in this country. Tiff writes, technically, it's the incorrect name. So that's what I want to get to. I want to deal with the facts, not just our emotions. So Tiff's like, technically, perhaps, hey, if your name is the third, then the check should have the third on there. Why don't it? I don't know. Darlene writes, banks are all full of you know what. Is that right? A victim is not required to participate in a reconciliation plan in Indiana. For him to face a felony for no doubt the same is bizarre. Absolutely. Mrs. Love being black writes, so they threatened him with the police, wouldn't give him his money. They threatened him with the police and he left. And they probably told him that because they wanted him to leave. But see, I'm the kind of black man that I ain't afraid of the police. Call them. Let them get here. And we'll sort it all out. I don't give a damn about you. If I know I'm doing the right thing, why do I have to be afraid of police? I'm not afraid of police. Call them. And I'll tell them just like I told you, I'm trying to cash this check. Now, they might be like, hey, listen, they're not going to cash it, so why don't you move along, buddy? Okay, then I'll move along. But a part of me would be like, call them. I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of me trying to run out the door because you called the police. Call them. And I'll walk out the door right next to them. We'll walk out together. But see, people like to play games with grown folks, man. Jesse writes, I have to agree with the bank. Okay. Sister Iris writes, banks have other protocols to follow to identify who you are. Angela writes, it's potentially fraud. Iris writes, call the people who issued a check. They tried to do that, or he suggested that, but the bank teller said it wouldn't make a difference. But I doubt that. Because what could have happened if they would have called the insurance company could have verified to say, oh, there's an error on the check. Rewrote this to such and such the third. And that could have been all of the validation that they needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you take a check to the bank and they write it out to Nathan Ivey, but it should be Nathan Ivey the third. When you call the insurance company, I get on the phone with them, they should be able to tell you like, oh, this is Mr. Such and Such the third. And that's all that they need to hear at the bank, right? We just made an error. That's really Mr. Such and Such the third. Boom. Cash, give me my money. Give me my $12,000. And I'm going on with my life. You know what I'm saying? But, all this, we called the police, but we didn't call the police stuff. That's playing games with grown folks. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, Guy?
Welcome.
Yeah. Hey, there y'all go again, injecting race where it doesn't matter. That's his fault. That's dude's fault. That's Pittman's fault.
It ain't the insurance company, it ain't the bank, it's Pittman's fault. Because he knows that Pittman III is, to receive that type of check, it's his job to make sure that every detail of the front of the check matches his license. So that the third suffix it goes on his check, that's his job to make sure it's on there. He's got to be insistent. He's got to insist upon himself that they put that on there, the third, and be very insistent and indignant about it.
Okay.
And he didn't do that.
I'm sure he would have preferred that fame, but once he gets the check, he got a check for $12,000 and it doesn't have the suffix on there, the third. What's he supposed to do then?
I ain't take it to his bank like he did,
right,
where they know him at. He's trying to avoid the waiting period because he ain't got the funds to cover it. So he's trying to avoid the waiting period. That's on him. That's on him. Yeah, that's a good job by Bank of America. I mean, that, like they said, that was just basic protocol. It's easy to the cop out is to say that race was involved. And no, brother, that's on you. You're receiving that kind of money, and you want it immediately, hassle free. You need to make sure every detail matches your license to them people when they're cutting the check. Hey, it's got to say John Pittman III. I'm the third, not Junior, not the first. And John Pittman ain't necessarily an uncommon name. I mean, it ain't necessarily a common name, but it ain't common either. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can see there being a lot of John Pittmans in a reasonably sized town. That's not like Nathan Ivey. Although I do know plenty of Ivy, they just don't have the E in the last name. You see what I'm saying? So that's on, bro. I'm sorry, I can't accept race on this one.
All right.
I think y'all wasting a card on that one. But yeah, it's been real. I had fun.
Appreciate you. And that's my question. Is this black while banking? Or did the bank do the right thing? Brother says bank did the right thing. That's on John Pittman, the third. I'm cool with that. I just want to know what you think about it. Irish writes, call the damn police. Exactly. Maurice writes, I would call the police myself. Right, I'm going to do you one better. Because I'm not going to do that whole scared rabbit thing, running out with my tail between my legs so you don't call the police. I don't give a damn if you call the police. Call them. They think black people give a damn. I don't care if you call the police. You can call them. I don't care about going to jail because I'm going to get out. You're going to inconvenience me, and if I got a case, I'm going to file my case and get me some cash. Simple as that. You better process me correctly. Do it by the book. Do everything you're supposed to do. If you make a mistake, I'm coming for the guts. I'm coming for it. So, good morning to you. Chris writes, something is not adding up. Why would he have his BC with him? Sounds like he is fishing for something. Regina writes, Social Security number, passport, and other documents had it on there. Should have been enough. Well, it sounds to me like the problem is that the check was made out to John Pittman. No suffix. No, the third. All his identification said the third. So they're like, well, damn, why didn't the bank just put the third on there? I think Fame might be right about something. Maybe he was just trying to forego the waiting period and get all the cash at one time. Sean writes, morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good to see you, Sean, as always.
Get to the chopper!
Tiff writes, but can banks accept a check with an error? They would have probably issued the bank an electronic check. I'm sure if it's as easy as you think it is. Well, he ended up taking it to his home bank. They cashed it. No problems. Easy peasy. The bank could have cross-referenced his Social Security number with the insurance company. The bank was being petulant. I think that the bank should have at least called the insurance company. They didn't even do that. They refused to do it, saying, what's that going to tell us? And for me, had they called the insurance company, they could have saw two things. One, it could have saw that a check was in fact issued to John Pittman III, and that two, the check was in error, basically. It's supposed to read the third, but it didn't. Had the insurance company told them that, and he had his identification saying, I'm John Pittman III, problem solved. Give me my money. Give me my money. Problem solved. That's it. It's a wrap now. Give me my money. That's it. Lisa writes, yeah, but a verbal admission of an error doesn't jive with the bank book. Sorry, got to reissue the check. Could have been. Angela writes, my brother and father have same name except middle initial. It can be tricky establishing and proving identity when asked about a discrepancy. Dale writes, the insurance company messed up. They mailed the check. They did. You're right. That's where he first did. Angela writes, $10K is not a $100 cash out. Absolutely. Not true, fame. They release half the funds and hold until verification is received at the bank. Okay. So you at least got 6,000. The funds availability policy is different for each bank. Yes, it is. We know that. Billy writes, probably care at the BC because he often has that issue. Probably. Vince is in the house. He writes, good morning, beloved brother, and peace to the choppers. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Listen, before we roll out of here this morning, another word from our sponsor, renewcommunitychurch.org this morning. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
The words for today are attract better relationships. It takes 60 seconds for the universe through the invisible law of attraction to be fully activated in your life. God's invisible law of attraction is available to you today because you are just 60 seconds away from attracting better relationships. Take the next 60 seconds and attract better relationships by telling a relationship story for 60 seconds, 3 times a day for 21 days. Why 21 days? Because that's how long it takes to change your life. Now say this relationship story out loud 3 times a day. It is my divine and human right to attract new, wonderful, and dynamic relationships today. I am attracting and allowing new and exciting people in my life. I am a blessing to all of my family and my friends. For a free ebook, visit renewcommunitychurch.org.
Sorry about that. I'm just doing my mind. You listen, what would a show be if I don't mime for at least 30 seconds? You know, I got to get my mime in. But anyway, so let me go back here. Somebody said something I want to reiterate. Yeah, so Dee said it was a combination of things. And I agree with Dee. It was a combination of things. He didn't bank there. The name doesn't match. The amount was over $10,000. And he was black. I think that played a part in it as well. Okay, I don't know if it played the primary part, but I think it played a part in it in some way. But we'll never know what they would have done if he was white. You know what I'm saying? We'll never know. Jericho writes, why do you mute yourself? I mute myself because things are going on. Like when we're in a break right there like that, I'm doing other things, and I just don't want the sound to get picked up. And when I get callers from time to time, I just want to make sure you can hear them without hearing whatever is going on in the background. Because I'm at home right now, so it's all it's a home. It's all kind of stuff going on. I don't want you to pick it up. Now, this microphone and the audio interface I'm working with, it works in tandem. This is what's called a dynamic microphone for folks who don't know, meaning that things that are over here is harder for it to get picked up, but you can still pick it up. And for this particular microphone, you have to get it's best to get really close with these Rode pod mics to really activate them. And it starts to sound really good when you get up in here. But that's the reason why I do it, Jerica. And I just need to be better at it. See Charlie Wimber's in the house. Good to see you, sir, as always. Good morning to you. So that's what the dealio is. Thank you for being here, everybody. I really appreciate you. Again, prayers for Ask Ashley and her family. They're dealing with a real tragedy in their family that happened this week. So I'll get with her today and see how she feels about doing Midday Juice tomorrow. But she's got a lot of exciting things going on. She's also doing a new column for the Cincinnati Herald, an Ask Ashley column as well that will help feedback to the show, and the show can feedback to the column. So support independent voices, support Black media. I do 100%. I appreciate you being here. It means everything. As we've been doing this little show for a lot. How long we been doing our little show together, man? So like four years now, a little bit more than that. Yeah, and I love it, man. I just love doing the show with you every single day and chopping it up. And this show has had an impact in Cincinnati. We can have more of an impact, and we grow every single day. We grow every single day because of you. I appreciate it. And have an excellent rest of your Wednesday, hump day. Get it in, finish strong, family. Then the weekend will be right around the corner where you can go out and get COVID. Yeah, yum. Go out and have some fun with other adults and get COVID. I'm joking. Listen, have an excellent rest of your day, family. I'll be back with you and hopefully better than ever tomorrow morning. Until next time, I'm Nathan Ivey, and I'm out.
Yeah. Talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand. I'm back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leaf, and I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a I don't care. Did the but my